Do you see the drama between the two event planning companies here in Dallas, Texas, where one of them is essentially trying to get the other completely blacklisted, and now they're getting sued for it? Ciara Self is one of the owners of Bash Co., which is a event planning business, I suppose, here in Dallas, Texas. And she and her husband, Monty, posted a video talking about their new brand over on Instagram, and then talking about how they had gone through all these struggles and how God found them in their valley, because they basically had lost all their money because they got served with a lawsuit on Christmas Eve in 2022. And now they finally come out of it because their insurance is going to cover everything. And so they're going to open this new business, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, the husband of the other company, Bashify, was like, no, absolutely not. That's not what happened at all. He said even though Ciara claimed in that video that they were blindsided by this lawsuit, they were not. They knew it was coming for months, and that actually Bashco had sent Bashify a cease and desist 6 months prior. Chris, which is the owner of Bashify with his wife Bree, said no, they actually became aware of Bashco in January of 2022 when Ciara had commented on one of their videos, basically claiming that they stole her idea. He said at that point they messaged Ciara directly so that they could try to resolve it privately. Here is the comment right here. That's so crazy because we own Bashco events and we just announced this exact thing months ago with the same name. So he messaged her directly, said, hey, we saw your comment on TikTok. We figured this would be a better forum to handle it than trying to respond in the comments. Since it sounded like you were accusing us of plagiarism in your comment, we wanted to let you know that we've actually been planning both our rebrand, which started formally in September, and our bash boxes since the start of last year. We put them both on the shelf while we worked, blah, blah, blah. Ciara responded, because of our trademarks with bash boxes, we unfortunately will have to address this with our lawyer tomorrow. And he said when we looked up trademark information for bash boxes before creating them, we weren't able to find anything for them on public record. Do you mind sharing that information with us? And she said, we will gladly follow up with an email from our lawyer with all the information. They said shortly after this, they had decided to move to Dallas, Texas, which is where Bashco was located. And he said on Father's Day weekend of 2022, they were at the mall and they saw Ciara and her husband Monty at the mall and figured, hey, maybe this is all a huge misunderstanding. Maybe we should go up and talk to them directly, see if we can grab some coffee and just like hash this out, because maybe it's just all one big misunderstanding. He said when he did that, it did not go well. He claims that Ciara screamed at them, told them they weren't allowed to be there, and then called 911 and then hung up immediately, and then proceeded to curse them out, according to him, and then ran and grabbed mall security. He then said a few weeks later, they received this non-specific cease and desist, at which point they hired a lawyer. When they hired the lawyer and looked into all of the claims that Bashco was making, they realized not only were their claims baseless, but that Bashify, Chris and Bree's company, had legitimate claims against Bashco. He also points out at this point that there are over 200 other businesses within Texas alone with the word bash in their name. He then said they had an ex-employee of Ciara and Monty's reach out and give them evidence that Ciara was trying to have them completely blacklisted in the industry. Chris also then goes on to say that Ciara is also obsessed with his wife. He claims that Ciara talks about Bree constantly, watches all of Bree's socials, and even claims that Bree stole one of Ciara's outfit ideas to the extent that she was saying she had her office bugged or something like that. He said they have hired experts to determine how much damage Bashco has done to Bashify, and it is apparently in the hundreds of thousands. And then he said this is what they received on Christmas Eve. They did not receive a lawsuit on Christmas Eve. They received an email from Chris and Bree's lawyer basically saying, hey, if y'all don't cut it out and actually start responding to us so that we can get this figured out, then we will be moving forward with a lawsuit. And apparently they did not reach out, so they moved forward with a lawsuit. He said they are not going to let Ciara and Monty sit around playing the victims when in fact, just because their insurance is covering them when they're the ones disparaging and defaming Chris and Bree's business, Bashify, Chris and Bree are coming out of pocket because their insurance is not covering them. And he also says that they do in fact have text messages proving that Ciara and Monty ran their own business into the ground, and that's why they were struggling financially. It was not because of anything that Bashify did, and had nothing to do with being served with a lawsuit. If you want to go watch his videos, I will put his account right here. He says that there's a link in his bio where he is uploading all of the documents and the proof, I guess. You can go look at that if you would like to. I will put the account where I found the original video that he is referring to on Instagram so that you can go to Instagram and watch that one as well if you would like. But wow. When I watched Ciara and Monty's video that started this whole thing, it's genuinely a touching video because it's talking about religious things, and if you watch it you could feel the same, but then it really takes a hard left when you hear about all these other things and how it seems like they really twisted the reality and the truth of what's been happening. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.